guys, this is Zoell. Welcome back to the channel, and this is your WWE Monday Night Raw review for January 13th, 2020. Overall, it was an okay show. Um, Nothing really stood out to me except for the Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy match as usual, and the main event ending with Buddy Murphy was surprising, but we'll get to that. But overall, not the most exciting show. Randy Orton started off the show and he said that he was asked to come out to the ring and welcome the crowd to Raw. He calls out AJ Styles and says that while AJ is out there, he may as well give him an RKO. The crowd cheered. AJ came out and asked Randy if he was going to fake another leg injury and that he actually believed that Randy was hurt, but how did Randy repay him? With an RKO. AJ says that it's not true that Randy is the favorite to win the Royal Rumble because obviously he didn't watch last week when AJ hit the sweetest, quote unquote, RKO to pin Akira Tozawa. AJ said that people are saying it's the most beautiful RKO they've ever seen and that his RKO was phenomenal. And the only thing I can say about this is that my 8-month-old daughter can write better promos than this, and all she does is spit bubbles, and that's not saying much. So he says that AJ says that maybe all he needs to do to throw 29 other men over the top rope is hit an RKO, and that includes Randy, Brock Lesnar, and then Drew McIntyre interrupts, and he says that that includes Drew McIntyre, basically finishing what AJ was about to say. Drew says that he's had a tough couple of weeks and that he reached deep down to overcome, and now he's looking for some better competition, which leads him to AJ Styles and Randy. He says that they're in the ring having a whose RKO is bigger competition, and he clears his throat and says that his Claymore is bigger. And I felt like this was supposed to go over as a better joke, but I'm guessing the crowd being full of like 10-year-olds and stuff like that, they were probably confused. So wasn't the best joke, but us adults got it. And he says that he knows who's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he asks the Kentucky crowd to decide between watching the three of them talk all night or the three of them have a triple threat match, which leads us, you guessed it, into a triple threat match. Randy thumbs Drew McIntyre in the eyes. He attacks AJ Styles. He goes for his DDT on the ropes, and the OC interferes, but Carl Anderson, gets an RKO, and Luke Gallows gets a Claymore kick outside of the ring. Drew puts AJ on the top rope, and he goes for a suplex, but AJ pushes him down in the Tree of Woe position, and Randy comes in. He kicks McIntyre's stomach. He gets up on the top rope, and he gets ready to superplex AJ, but Drew reaches up and hits a German suplex on both Randy and AJ. Drew starts attacking Randy in the corner. Randy hits a clothesline on AJ before McIntyre gives both AJ and Randy a Glasgow Kiss headbutt. He sets up for the Claymore kick, and he does his 3-2-1 thing, and I'm not sure if this is why the crowd has just basically turned Drew into a baby face. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Randy hits a drop kick instead. Drew pulls Randy out of the ring. He sends him into the barricade. AJ hits a springboard forearm to Drew McIntyre from inside the ring to out and pushes Drew headfirst into the ring post. Randy grabs the steel steps and hits Drew. AJ gets back in the ring and he basically calls Randy Orton back in. he goes for a DDT on Randy, Randy's own DDT. He does it the RKO taunt where he's like banging on the ring. Randy tries to reverse and AJ hits him with an enziguri. Randy sets up AJ for a Styles Clash, and surprisingly, he hit a really, really good one, despite the fact that that's not, a move that he normally does. He goes for the pin and he gets a 2 count. Randy then goes for the RKO, but AJ counters it. Randy eventually does land the RKO. Drew literally slides into the ring out of nowhere, hits a Claymore kick on Randy, and pins AJ for the 3 count. So Drew McIntyre wins the match. And Drew looked really strong in this match. I did enjoy it. These three, they do gel well together, and I feel like this is the type of match. These are the type of matches I want to see Drew in. I don't want to see him in matches with No Way Jose or some lower mid card dude on the roster, because Drew McIntyre has has star written all over him, and I just hope that he looks good in the actual Royal Rumble match. And I hope that they eventually do something with him, because like I said, he has the look. He can talk on the mic. So I don't understand why he's not being pushed more. Like, I would like to see him in a feud with Brock Lesnar, something high caliber, and especially for a championship, because like I said, Drew just screams champion. Like, I don't know what they're doing with him. So the next segment was Seth Rollins and AOP backstage. Seth says that he hopes AOP is as excited about tonight as he is. He said this fist fight is an opportunity and a demonstration. And if you are not with him, you are against him. Again, my 8-month-old daughter can write better promos. He says that it is not a choice, this is fate, and it is inevitable. I'm trying to figure out like who is writing his promos. Like, I like Seth in this position, but he's gotta, like, I'm just not feeling the promos at all. So he says nothing and no one can stop them, not Kevin Owens, not Samoa Joe, and not Big Show. Seth says that this is the destiny of Monday Night Raw. He says that he has sacrificed everything, and he has sacrificed more than anyone can understand to ensure that this destiny remains intact. He says that tonight him and AOP will impose their will, and they will show everybody that this is what happens when you do not embrace the vision of the Monday Night Messiah. Again, let's stop calling Seth the Monday Night Messiah. It does not roll off the tongue very well. And as many shirts as I see them coming out with, it's not. WWE has to stop with these catchphrases and these little nicknames, because they're just not needed at all. Next, we had Ricochet versus Mojo Rawley. If you can tell by my voice, yeah, it just is what it is. I don't know, man. Ricochet he's just become so unimportant. I don't know. Like, when I saw this match, I was just focused on the fact that it's really Ricochet versus Mojo Rawley. Like, they really plucked Mojo out of catering and said, hey, do you want to have a match tonight? Like, are you free? And I feel like Mojo was like, sure, I'm not doing anything. So I did tweet out that I really want to like Mojo. I do. Like, part of me, like, really, really wants to like him. I feel like he has the potential and he has the look. I mean, he has to get rid of that ring gear. That ring gear is just terrible. But I feel like he has the look that can push him at least somewhat in the mid card and get him out of jobber status. But it's just, I feel like there's something about him that's just not gelling. And given how long he's been on the roster. I feel like if he doesn't get it now, then it's never gonna work for him at all. But this match was nothing special. Mojo tries to go for a big boot. As soon as the bell rings, Ricochet hits a drop kick. Mojo throws Ricochet off the top rope, but he lands on the apron. He hits a top rope drop kick before hitting a senton. Ricochet throws Mojo back into the ring. He misses a springboard, I'm guessing, whatever move he was going for, and Mojo hits him with a shoulder block. Mojo hits a big splash in the corner. Ricochet tries to go for a crossbody, but Mojo, I was gonna call him Rojo. Lord have mercy. I need to go to bed. But Mojo catches him, and Ricochet reverses and lands a code breaker. He goes to the top rope and hits his 630 for the 3 count, and Ricochet wins. And that is pretty much it. I don't, like I said, Ricochet it's just go back to NXT. Like I don't know why that's my advice for a lot of these NXT guys, but it's like going to the main roster is kind of like a death kill. Like I feel like Ricochet was, he was so special in NXT, athletic, obviously he's easy on the eyes, but like he just had it. And now that he's on the main roster, I just feel like he's lost everything. Like I don't know. I really don't know. And if that match wasn't a bore, we go to the Street Profits backstage, and I the Street Profits are another one. I just feel like the writers have no clue what to do with these guys. Like they get no reactions when they come out. And at this point, I feel like they'll be hosting WrestleMania. And to me, that's heartbreaking because the Street Profits are full of charisma. They have a very unique look, and I just wouldn't be surprised if they're WrestleMania hosts, and I could just see Vince in the writers' room going, "It's such good shit," like to have them on the as hosts on WrestleMania, like the New Day and stuff like that. But it's like the Street Profits, they can really put on good matches if they're featured in a match that matters. And they still haven't captured the WWE Tag Team Championships, and I feel like even if they did now, it's just not going to mean anything. It's just a little bit too late. But that's not to say that I don't want the Tag Team Championships off of the Viking Raiders, because they're in no better position. Like I don't know. Next, we get Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan. And it's just back to back with like segments and matches I don't care for. This match lasted, I want to say, a good 7, maybe 9 minutes, if that. But I don't know why we're getting this match unless it's supposed to further something, because Charlotte Flair is already established. So what is it to her if she wins another match against Sarah Logan? Like, where the hell has Sarah Logan been? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was backstage with Mojo, and they were like, "Oh, hey, Sarah, we didn't know you were here. Would you like to have a match? Like, you get a match, and you get a match, and you get a match." Like, I guess catering is getting too full, and Vince is like, "You need to put some of these people in a match or something, or put them on TV." But Sarah Logan just is not it. I feel like it's the same thing like with Mojo. Her gear doesn't do anything for her. That's one thing. She just looks like she woke up, threw something on, and went to the arena. Like, or maybe she got to the arena and figured out that she didn't pack, you know, a certain pair of pants or shorts or her fur or some type of bear jacket, whatever it is. And she's just like, "Oh, let me just put on something. Oh, hey, can I borrow those pants? They just told me I'm having a match and I'm not prepared." but she just looks like a jobber. And I still don't understand why they just don't put her with the Viking Raiders. Like, if you have nothing for her to do as a singles star, put her with the Viking Raiders. That gives her something to do, and maybe it will liven up the Viking Raiders, because just okay. I'm just gonna keep going. Next, we have Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and when they came out, the fans of Kentucky just almost booed them. Well, no, they did. They booed the both of them, more so Brock, but they booed Brock out the building, and Paul and Brock started to leave, but then they turned around and got back in the ring, and I'm just like, no, turn around, keep going, because as great as Paul Heyman is, there's only but so much that you can do with Brock Lesnar. I understand that he is Vince's wet dream. I get it, but how many times is Paul gonna come out and say the same I mean, I know that's his shtick. I get it. But it's like, what else is there to say about Brock? He's not there enough for the fans to care. The fans hate him because he's not there and because he's a champion on top of it. But not even Paul Heyman, who has the gift of the gab, can make us care about Brock, because Brock doesn't care. So it's like, why even bother? But this segment turned into somewhat tolerable when R-Truth came out. And you can say what you want about R-Truth, but he is entertaining given the amount of crap that that the writers give him. But R-Truth came out and basically said that he is going to eliminate Paul Heyman out of the Royal Rumble. He called him a very, very big, 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 big man. And again, these promos are just they're not written well. Not that they ever are, but Paul tells him that I'm not in the Royal Rumble, Brock is. And that is when R-Truth officially undeclared himself out of the Royal Rumble. Brock gives him a F5 and they leave. So, like I said, if it wasn't R-Truth, this segment wouldn't have worked. But R-Truth does what he can with what he's given. And that says a lot about his ability to make even the most dumbest segments work. So that's just a testament to him. And I hope that R-Truth is really, you know, given his flowers when the time, when the time comes. After the match, Mojo hits R-Truth with a big boot while he's being helped up the ramp by the refs and stuff. And he pins R-Truth to become the 24/7 champion. And the crowd goes deceased. Because again, nobody cares. I was hoping that that Brock grabbed the 24/7 championship and like broke it in half, because that's what I want to happen to that ugly ass unnecessary title. Um just get rid of it. Just please, for the life. Then we had another backstage segment with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens and Big Show. I'm not even going to recap what they said because I don't care. Next, we had Bobby Lashley versus Rusev. Oh, into another match that I don't care for. Rusev hits a shoulder block, then a spinning heel kick for a 2 count. He clotheslines Lashley, then he hits a big splash before he gives Lashley a suplex. Rusev, he sends Lashley into the corner, hits a cannonball for another 2 count. Lashley thumbs Rusev in the eye and hits a clothesline to send Rusev out of the ring. He runs all the way around the ring, similar to what Braun Strowman does, and hits a spear to Rusev. Lashley hits a body slam, and Rusev tries to grab his ankle, but Lashley sends him into the ring post. He slams Rusev's knee around the ring post, and they're back in the ring. This is how much I care about this match, because I was just skipping over a lot of things. Lashley goes shoulder first into the ring post. when Rusev moves out the way. Rusev hits 2 clotheslines and then the Samoan drop. Oh my god, I need to go to bed. Samoan drop. Rusev hits a big splash and then a belly-to-belly suplex, and he misses his Machka kick. Lashley hits a German suplex that Rusev no sells. The crowd, is starting to cheer because Rusev is over no matter what trash storyline he's in. And finally, he hits his Machka kick. Lana interferes and she tries to get in the ring, allowing Lashley to hit Rusev in the back of the knee. Liv Morgan eventually comes out, and it would have made more sense for her to come out with Rusev, but I guess, they want to hold on to your suspense. They want you to hold on to your suspense. Not that we have any, because this whole thing is trash. But anyway, Liv Morgan is jaw-jacking with Lana. Lana grabs a fan's drink and throws it into Liv's face and throws her into the barricade. Lashley hits another spear for the 3 count, and he wins the match. Don't really care. This does nothing for neither one of them. Lashley, I don't care how great his body looks. He is trash. He is trash. He can't talk on the mic. He is not that good in the ring. And even pairing him with Lana, who people used to really, really, really ride for, myself included, she can't even get him over. And this feud is going to keep going because you idiots keep making their segments, you keep making the ratings for their segments go higher and higher. And once Vince sees those numbers, he just forgets about everything and says, oh, we got to do something else with them. And us fans are like, us true fans with, a brain, we're like, no, we don't want that. And Vince is like, yes, you guys do want that. And everybody suffers because this shit is just trash. Backstage, Lana calls Liv Morgan a troll and a stalker and challenges Liv Morgan and Rusev to a mixed tag match next week. This made absolutely no fucking sense because shouldn't it be the other way around since Rusev lost the match and since Liv Morgan had a drink thrown in her face? I don't get why they wouldn't be challenging Lana and Rusev. Oh my god. Lana and Lashley. And I'm not editing any of this because it is 1:17 in the morning when I'm recording this and my ass should be in bed. But anyway, next we had the Viking Raiders doing an open challenge. And who answers their open challenge, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. It's not the Street Profits, thank God. It's not the OC, thank God. Oh, are there any other tag teams, you ask? No, there's not. So, the Singh brothers, who I don't even know their names. I think one of their names is Sunil. I don't even know which one is Sunil. I don't give a shit which one is Sunil. But at this point, I don't think there is a staircase long enough that the Viking Raiders haven't fell down yet. These open challenges are doing nothing for them or the people that accept it. They don't even feel like a real tag team to me. They look like cosplay characters. Like they just, it's insane what a call up to the main roster will do to these people's entire gimmick. Like it's like Vince looked at them and stripped away everything that made them stand out and everything that made fans invest in them, and they said, here you go, put on this ridiculous hat or helmet and come out and bang your chest like cavemen and have a 3-minute match, if that, against the Singh brothers, and that'll really get asses in the seats. So, like I said earlier, I want them to take the championships off of them, but it's like, who are they gonna put it on? The Street Profits? Those titles are not gonna make the Street Profits any more likable. Who are they gonna? The OC, the best tag team in the world, quote unquote. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, the Viking Raiders attack the Singh brothers outside of the ring. Ivar suplexes one of the brothers. on top of the other. Eric drops Ivar on top of them in a suplex, and then they hit the Viking experience for the 3 count. Color me not fucking excited. After the match, Rusev and Liv Morgan cut really, really bad promos. I mean, Rusev is usually good on the mic, but I don't know what the fuck this was. Liv says that she's the embodiment of karma, and karma is a bitch. You know why karma is a bitch? You're right, Liv. Karma is a bitch because regardless of how trash the show is, I feel compelled to watch every week. Like, I make sure that my 8-month-old daughter is fed, bathed, and ready for bed before 8 o'clock comes so I can sit and recap this trash show. And I've been doing that for over 20 something years. And it's like, one day it's going to bite me in the ass if it hasn't already. Because why? I'm up at 1:20 in the morning reviewing this show when I should be asleep because this show is nothing to talk about. Anyway, we go to the contract signing between Becky Lynch and Asuka. I like this segment. I mean, Asuka is just awesome. Like, what can I say about her? I feel like she's just now getting over as a heel and she's kind of being taken more seriously. And I really wish it was like this the minute she came to the main roster. And down to the green mist and the makeup and the face paint, and Kairi Sane turning sane, oh my god, turning heel. It's just everything is working for them, and I love what they're doing with Asuka. I love that they're revisiting her past with Becky Lynch. The only thing that's suffering is the women's tag team championships. Because again, WWE is not known for tag teams and they're not known for keeping tag teams together. But what are they going to do with Kairi Sane and Asuka? I'll wait. So, and another gripe that I have is Becky is coming. It's not really a gripe. I guess it's just, it's just my opinion. But Becky is coming off as if she's scared of Asuka. And I guess that kind of plays into the you are the only person that's made me tap out. And you are the only person I can't beat. So logically, it makes sense for the story. But I want to see the badass Becky Lynch. Like, before she, unofficially became the man, Becky was like, the female Stone Cold, and I know that's cliche to say, but she was a badass, and I kind of really want that Becky back. Like, I feel like she's toned it down a little bit. She's falling out with the fans. Although she keeps getting great reactions, I just feel like she doesn't have the same momentum. And I'm just hoping this match kind of brings her back to the forefront. Then again, who is going to challenge her? I'll wait. I mean, there's always Charlotte Flair lurking in the shadows somewhere, but, I'd rather stick my head in a blender than watch another Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair match. So, that was just my gripe, but overall, this segment was great. They did sign the contracts, and Asuka shouted shouted some words in Japanese at Becky before she sprayed her with the green mist. Becky sold this green mist like she had, like, somebody spit dog shit in her face, like dog shit that was mixed with poison. Like, I felt like she was overdoing it, but I get it. I do get it at the end of the day. But, and then the fact that she cut this really, really great promo, like, with her eyes closed, like, this is the Becky Lynch I want to see. Like, I want to see the Becky Lynch that is going out there and she's gonna take everybody's fucking arm off. Like, I want to bring her back to the Ronda Rousey Becky Lynch, So, like I said, nice segment. I did like it, and I hope that their match at the Royal Rumble kills it. Next, we had Andrade and Zelina Vega backstage. Sarah Schreiber asks Andrade a question. Zelina interrupts her and says that she's not qualified to talk to them. She calls Rey Mysterio a disgraced legend and says that Andrade is the hero that deserves the recognition of all the Latinos. She boasts about Andrade being man enough to rip off Rey Mysterio's mask. She calls Rey Mysterio a low-life criminal for stealing the U.S. Championship, which they had to make a criminal report against. That, I felt like if anything needed to be taken out of this promo, it was that, because it just didn't fit in. Like, it was corny, kind of. She says that Rey is a disgrace to Latinos again, and that he is a sad and terrible example to Dominic and all of Rey's children. Andrade says something inaudible in English, and then he goes right into Spanish. I'm pretty sure it was something about their ladder match next week. I blinked out. We cut to Charlie interviewing Rey, and Rey says that Andrade injured one of the most prominent rookies, and I'm sure he's talking about Humberto Carrillo, and I would like to know, where was he prominent and promising at, because he wasn't getting any reactions. He was okay in the ring, but I feel like, as okay as he was in the ring, he had absolutely no personality. And the fact that I'm pretty sure he doesn't speak like really, really good English was kind of going to come back and bite him in the ass. So, and I did read recently that Vince just kind of soured on him. And I'm not surprised, because the fans soured on him the minute he came out. Like, putting him with the Street Profits, that wasn't going to do any well. That was going to bring the Street Profits way more down than they already were. And I don't feel like he was really going to go far. Like, you may as well put him on 205 Live. Like, if he's legit injured, I hope he recovers. But do not bring him back to Raw. Put him on 205 Live, where I'm pretty sure he can kill it with those guys. But Humberto just was not it. Rey says that he accepts the consequence. He will accept the consequences of his ladder match, and he will take back the U.S. title. And in my notes, I wrote that this feud between Andrade and Rey, it's very personal, and I love when, feuds kind of touch on real life. They're involving Dominic, and they're involving the mask, and they're involving Latino representation. But I just feel like this feud is kind of forgotten about. It's kind of like stuck in the corner. And when neither Rey or Andrade have a match on the show, it's easy to just forget that they're even feuding in the first place. I mean, Zelina can talk him into the building, no doubt, but Rey and Andrade are going to deliver in the ring regardless. But I just feel like this feud is just kind of it's just forgotten about. And I honestly, if they didn't do any of these promos or hyping up the ladder match, I would have completely forgot that Andrade was a U.S. champion. And that's no slight to them, of course, but I'm just saying. Next we had Aleister Black versus Bobby. Oh my God. Buddy Murphy, part 3. This was an excellent match. Like, these two, I wrote on Twitter, like, I would love to watch Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy wrestle every week if I could, but these rematches have to stop. Like, I thought this was done. And technically, I saw on somebody's Twitter correct everyone is saying this is actually the 4th time they had a match. So even if it was the 3rd or 4th time, we have to stop. Like, let's move on. Like, Aleister has won all 4 matches. We get it. Buddy Murphy's great, but he's not great enough to beat Aleister. That's been established. What's next? Is Aleister going to go back in the closet and wait for somebody else to knock on the door? And is Buddy Murphy going to sit in catering by himself with a nasty look on his face because he feels like he should be on the show and he's mad that he's not, and everyone's trying to talk to him and he's not talking to them, and he sees Alexa Bliss walk by or something, or hears her name and he just gags? Like, that's what I envision to be happening in catering. But Black hits 2 black masses on Buddy Murphy for the 3 count. I'm not going to recap the match because, like I said, I could sit here and talk about them all day. But as usual, Aleister won. After that, we had Eric Rowan versus some jobber. I didn't get his name because I don't give a shit. And in the middle of the match, Charlie Caruso tries to get a word from Buddy Murphy, who was still sitting ringside with a sourpuss look on his face, and he just tells her, like, not now, just please, not now. And that's what I was saying in my head when Eric Rowan was in the ring. Like, please, not now. Not now, not ever, not next week, not tomorrow. Like, I don't know where they're going with this cage thing. Again, Vince might probably think it's the best shit in the world since cook crack. But enough. Like, if they don't show us what's in the cage next week, like, get this shit off my TV. Like, for real. Like, I know I read that Vince is really high on Eric Rowan, and at first I was just like, how could you release Luke Harper over Eric Rowan? But then I said, what's the alternative? Like, Luke would be in this position, so I'm pretty sure Luke got the better end of the deal. But Eric Rowan hits a big claw chokeslam for the 3 count, and again, don't really care. We get to the main event, the fist fight. WWE sent out a tweet about the rules. I skimmed over them and still did not understand why this match was going on. But Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe attacked AOP with kendo sticks. Big Show was beating the shit out of Seth with a kendo stick in the ring. He sets up a table in the corner. He gives Rollins a huge chop. Seth pushes him into the ring post. Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens are fighting AOP up on the stage area. Kevin Owens does this crazy parkour run and jump in the air into a senton bomb. And I'm like, I'm reminded that Kevin Owens is fucking awesome. Like, I was just like, he did some like John Morrison type shit. And I'm like, that's the cool shit I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see something worth talking about. Samoa Joe hits a senton of his own, putting one of the AOP into a table. Again, it could have been Razor, it could have been Akam. Was not paying attention, was trying not to fall asleep. Meanwhile, Buddy Murphy is still ringside. And I'm not sure if this was supposed to be funny, but I did chuckle because I'm just like, did someone not cue him to go backstage? Like, your match is over, buddy, you lost. So again, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be funny, but I laughed. Seth was thrown to the outside, and when he notices Buddy Murphy sitting there, he asks him for help. Big Show hits a chokeslam back in the ring. Buddy jumps in the ring and gives Big Show a low blow. He helps Seth send Big Show into the table. And at this point, I'm confused, but I'm intrigued because I'm like, what the hell is going on? AOP puts Samoa Joe on top of the commentary table. They drop Kevin Owens directly on top of him, and the table breaks. Rollins goes for a curb stomp, but Big Show reverses. He sends Rollins to the turnbuckle. He throws Buddy Murphy over the top rope. Big Show takes his big ass to the top rope, and AOP get in the ring and powerbomb him. Murphy gets back in the ring, and he helps set up Big Show for Rollins to hit the curb stomp. The referee calls for the bell, and I'm sitting here like, what was the point of branding this match as a fist fight and not one fist was thrown? And I was looking at the time, and it was like 11:59 at this point, and I'm like, either they rushed it or the rules that WWE tweeted out were bullshit. Because I'm just confused. Anyway, after Rollins hugged AOP, he opened his arms to Buddy Murphy, and Buddy Murphy gave him a hug. And that was the end of the show. Again, I don't know where this thing with Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins and AOP is going. I'm happy that Buddy Murphy is being featured, you know, more into the show. Seth Rollins as the Messiah, as I gag, as I say that, he's really giving me CM Punk Straight Edge Society vibes. And it seems like he's really comfortable in this role. So that's always great to see. But where do they go from now? And that's always my question. When you get these people and the writers are sitting down in the room, like, what is the end goal? Like, you should always be planning for an end goal. And I know that things happen, injuries happen, TV, whatever it is, life happens. I get it. But what is the end goal for them? Like, where does Seth go? AOP should really, if I hate to say it because AOP just came back, but put the tag team championships on them. There's no other alternative. Like, they are presented as, this badass team, and I really feel like AOP will like fuck you up. But like, what are they doing as Seth Rollins like lackeys? Like, they are, they're getting the main events and they're getting the rub from Seth Rollins, but put the championships on them. That'll probably elevate the championships from the depths of hell. And, you know, Buddy Murphy as, I guess, a disciple as the king, or I think Vic Joseph may have said it, I don't know. But, you know, this kind of this kind of brings Buddy Murphy into the forefront, and by all means Buddy Murphy deserves it because he's really, really good in the ring, and I feel like he just needs an opportunity, and that's what I wanted out of this Aleister Black feud. I didn't get that. I got some great matches, but it didn't do anything for him. And not to mention, it doesn't do anything for Aleister either. But, you know, I'm just intrigued to see where it goes. The Royal Rumble's in 2 weeks, and I don't even feel like it. This doesn't feel like a Royal Rumble build at all. I feel like just there's a bunch of stories outside of the Royal Rumble. And like I said before, the Royal Rumble match sells itself, but this just hasn't been a good build. So I'm hoping, the go home show next week will do something for me. But that is my review. I appreciate everybody for listening. Please comment, subscribe, and like. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for AEW. Love ya.